All right, just for the recording, again, I'm TW Dawson. I'm doing a little training for my leaders in ITC Global. And what I want to talk about, don't really have a topic, don't really have a format, but I have an expression. I want to express something, all right? I think that one of the problems that we're having as far as new people getting in and getting active and doing the work. You see, there's three types of people that can get into ITC Global. There's a customer, which we don't call them customers, but anybody who buys a package and does it nothing, they call themselves an investor, but they're not an investor unless you're investing 20, 30, 40,000 or more. So let's just stop with the investing. You can't be an investor with $10, $100, not even $50, not even $500. It's not really an investment, all right? So we have customers. We have people that fuel the cycle, all right? They come in, the cycler moves. Then you have what I like to call a customer plus one. And what a customer plus one is somebody who comes in as a customer and they have the opportunity or they have the initiative to bring other people in. They're not really building it as a business. They got excited about it. They shared it with their mother, their cousin, their auntie, a close friend. But outside of that first influence, spirit influence, that circle of friends, they don't plan on doing much with it after that. That's fine too. Then you have your business builders, all right? Your business builders are what we're looking for, all right? If we want to create a revolution, if we want to create generational wealth, we have to find business builders. Now, this is the point of the message today. What does that look like? Now, first, if we can identify what a customer looks like and a customer plus one looks like, those customers plus one, they're real sneaky because they make you think that they're business builders, but they're really not. And you kind of know that they're really not, but you want them to be. You know why? Because it's easier to deal with them than go find somebody who's really going to build it. That's the easy way, which ends up being the hard way. So let's not try to take the easy way out. Everybody's not going to be a business builder. Most people are going to fall in between the customer and the customer plus one, right? So when I teach finding business people, I use a formula that I learned a long time ago. You bring people in at your level and above. Sounds good. I know what that means. I want to bring in a TW or somebody that's better than a TW. Okay, fine. The problem is your warm market is filled with people that you either consider your level or above, or are your level or above, or not. And sometimes we have a hard time looking at the people in our lives as at our level and above. We like to think they are, but we have a sneaky suspicion that they're not. And then their actions show forth that they're really not. And that's fine, because there's a place for those people. We appreciate them for coming in. We appreciate them for trusting us with this investment, quote unquote. We appreciate them helping the cycler move, right? That's that. Now, what does your level and above look like? Well, it will be real easy to identify what your level and above is. Let's just say if everybody who's at your level and above wore a red shirt. And I say, Rita, go out and find everybody with a red shirt on. And all you would have to do is go outside and look around, and everybody who had a red shirt on, you'll say, hey, I'm Rita. You're at my level and above. Let's talk about ITC Global. Now let me back up. Let me explain to you what your level and above really means. Now I just talked about a hypothetical, an example of identifying your level and above. But let me explain to you what your level and above really is. Your level and above is people who believe what you believe. Your level and above is people whose visions are the same as your vision. Your level and above are people who want and desire the same things that you want and desire in your life. That's how people connect. That's how families are created. That's how friendships are created. That's how bonds are created. Quick note, I learned something the other day. We all know the expression that blood is thicker than water, right? We've heard that expression all the time. But do you really know what that means? And do you not know that people use that out of context so many times? Let me tell you what the real story of that is. And it falls right in line with what I'm talking about, creating bonds. The actual expression says, the blood of a covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. That brings different contents to that. The blood of the covenant, the blood that you shed in covenant, the blood that you shed in the foxhole, the blood that you shed through struggle, the blood that you shed through like-minded, suffering, trials and tribulations that you go through with somebody. It's the blood, that bond, that blood is thicker than the water of your birth womb, the water that you came out of the same womb. So in other words, the things you go through with your brothers that you struggle with, that bond is thicker than your actual natural brothers. So people are attracted to each other by what their struggles are. People are attracted to each other by what they desire. People are attracted to each other by a common goal. That is how you identify your level and above. You find people that want what you want, right? So now, again, going back to how you find those people. Now, if I said, Rita, everybody with a red shirt on, go outside and find them. Rita was like, no problem, TW, got you. Easy assignment. All you have to do is walk around and you see a red shirt, you talk to them. You bring up ITC Global. You do whatever you do. You identify them and you bring them in. But unfortunately, everybody doesn't wear a red shirt that identifies with what you believe in. But the first thing you have to do in order to identify them is to identify what you actually believe in. What does your banner say? What is on your banner? What are you marching for? What is your core belief that you're involved in this company or you're involved with this association is for? What does TW believe that he said to you that made you believe and made you want to associate yourself with TW? With the Bordeaux's, with Rita? What was it? What was the war cry that you heard that made you say, I want to be a part of that? So once you're able to identify that and say, you know what? This is why I'm doing ITC Global. And it can't be for money. Because not one time did I ever say, I'm doing this for money. All right? So you didn't hear him say that. Now I said I'm going to become a crypto millionaire. I said that in recent time because it's just going to happen. And I want to inspire people with that idea. But the main thing that I talk about all the time, and this doesn't have to be your thing, but it is the thing, is freedom. That's the one thing that people will go to war for, freedom. That's the one thing that people will fight for, freedom. That's the one thing that people will sacrifice, freedom. That's the one thing that people will leave their families, go out and spend hours doing meetings, going out driving hours, sitting on Zoom calls for hours, is for freedom. And guess what? Freedom looks different to everybody. You have to identify what it is that you want. What does freedom look like to you? What does it look like to you, Nathan? Figure that out. What does it look like to you, Andrea? Figure it out. Freedom. I'll give you an example. And Rob, you don't mind me giving an example that I gave earlier. You still up there, Rob? Rob's gone. Okay, so he doesn't mind. Okay, so Rob wants to bring his wife home. For him, that's freedom. He wants to bring his wife home. So I told Rob earlier, I said, if you run into a person in the street, casually, hey, how you doing, Pastor Rob? How you doing? What's going on? What's going on with you? If I was you, Rob, the first thing I would say is, oh man, things are excellent, things are wonderful. I've been on a mission to bring my wife home. That would be the first thing that I say. Why? Because the first thing that he's going to think is, what do you mean? He's going to ask questions about that. Bring your wife home. How do you plan on doing that? Glad you asked. Well, I happen to know a friend of mine, which is a brother. This is what we're doing. We put together a program and we put a plan of action together for the next 9 months. This is what we're going to do. And the plan is to bring my wife home. Now, if that person is interested in bringing their wife home, you don't think they're interested in the plan that he has to bring his wife home? You just connected with somebody on another level. You just bonded with somebody because now you know something that they don't. And if they want what you have or want what you're attaining, they're going to follow. Does everybody know the definition of a leader? I'm sure we have plenty of definitions. If I open up the chat, matter of fact, I want to see if you got your chat open, type in what's your definition of a leader, and I'm going to read them off later. Just type it in. If you got a definition of what a leader is, just type it in. It's just for fun, all right? But the definition of a leader is so simple. There's people that are in leadership positions, and then there's leaders. A leader means that you just have somebody following you. Simple as that. You can't be a leader if no one's following you. All right? It's really that simple. How do you know whether a person is a leader? If someone's following you. It's nothing fancy. It's just people have believed in what you are over it. People are believing in what you're giving them, and they're willing to follow you with. Now, back up just a little bit. I don't want to go ahead of myself, but watch this right here. It's one thing to know what you want. It's one thing to know what your banner says. You have to have a banner. I want to use that term, a banner. When you're marching, if it's for peace, if it's for war, if it's for whatever, you have a banner. You want to be able to represent something. You want to show your banner. Your banner. What that means to you is freedom. It symbolizes freedom. But what makes a real leader is someone who can articulate that. That's the most important part. It's one thing to believe what you believe, but it's another to be able to articulate it, because most people can't articulate their own beliefs. Most people can't. I know there's a bunch of preachers, not a bunch, but there's a few preachers up here, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Most people can't articulate what they believe, their core beliefs, they can't articulate it. So when they hear it come from somebody. So if I said, Rita, go out into the street and speak your truth. Your truth is that you're going to retire at a certain age with a certain amount of security to provide for different people. All right? Whatever your truth is. But the bottom line is freedom is your banner. And if you stood on a corner and you proclaimed that loud and clear, some people are going to look at Rita like she's crazy. What's up with this crazy lady? Why is she talking so loud? Let me hold my pocketbook closer because she might try something. But then others are going to slow down and they're going to start to say, you know, she might be on to something. What is it that she's really talking about? And they're going to start to listen. And then they're going to start to inquire. Then they're going to start asking questions. Well, how do you plan on getting this freedom? What does this freedom look like to you? Because your ability to articulate it has got them to the point where they want to hear. Because they're saying to themselves, hey, I believe the same thing. What she's saying represents me. Now I have somebody I can follow. Because guess what? Believe it or not, there's more followers in this earth than there are leaders. And people, whether you want to admit it or not, are looking for someone to follow. And the only way they're going to follow you is if you know your truth and you're able to articulate that truth. You have to be able to speak it as if it is. Speak it as if it's already happened. Speak it in the now. Not I'm going to be rich. I'm going to be wealthy. I am wealthy. My resources around me, just from my network, gives me wealth right there. My knowledge gives me wealth. Your ability to articulate to the highest degree of your vision and your dream will automatically deposit that dream into your bank account. I'll walk away from that one for a second. Listen, your ability to articulate with a clear vision, unequivocally. If I wake you up in the middle of the night and say, Rita, what do you want? Rita is supposed to be able to say, I want to be free by such and such and such and such, such and such. Then go, why the hell you woke me up? I'm trying to sleep. You're supposed to be able to say that with such a surety and clarity that every time you say it, you deposit it into your bank. And people that are around you will hear it. Most will hate, but you only need the few. You only need the few that says, Rita, I know they think you're crazy, but I'm with you. As Rita says, let's create wealth together. Let's create wealth together. Let's do this. And your ability to articulate. Now, let me give you another story. You ever watch one of those Westerns or one of those stories where the girl is trapped by the bad guy, the tall, dark guy with the flint in his mouth and the toothpick, and the scrudgy beard comes and saves her, kill off all the bad guys, take the princess or the girl, put her on the back of the horse, and they trot out in the sunset. You ever see those movies? So at the end of the movie, the credits are going, they're on the horse, dirt flying all over the place, they're going riding off into the sunset. But what they don't show you is about 2 miles in, the woman starts to complain. Hey, this horse is hurting me. My legs hurt. I'm thirsty. Got dirt all over me. When are we getting to when does the happily ever after start? And the job of that man is to remind her what they left for. So what his job is to say, I know it's hot. I'm hot as well. I know business is slowed down. Mine slowed down too. But right over that hill, a little further down, is the most beautiful town that you'll ever see. They got pools, tubs, spas. You can get your hair done. You can get your nails done. You can get a pretty little dress to put that on. And we can have our little ceremony. We can, right, it's about 2 to 3 miles down. You just hold on. In just a couple of months, the Darts blockchain will be here. If you could just hold on a few more months, these Arch coins ain't gonna be worth zero. They're gonna be worth something. If you could just relax just a little bit, just stay in there. Don't quit, don't stop. Because we're on the precipice of something big right now. And that's your job as a leader, to be able to articulate the vision correctly. To be able to keep your beliefs correctly. Articulate it in such a way that even in the hardest times, there's still faith, there's still belief. All right, so now I want to give you a couple of things and I'll let you go. We started at 7, it's 8 o'clock. We're doing good on time. We're doing good on time. We're doing real good on time. All right, so check this out. So this is what I had in my mind. I didn't put any of this to paper. Normally before I come to you, I at least write it down so that I'll at least have some type of organization in my head. But this is something that I just feel. This is something that over the years, I've developed these things and not really took the time to put a name, to put I just didn't really, figure out now I'm starting to look at it from another position and say, this is what I was doing all these years. Now I'm trying to articulate them better. For leaders, it's one thing that if I had a knock on me is that I haven't developed the greatest leader yet. I haven't developed my greatest leader yet. I want to develop a leader that supersedes me. So I have to start focusing on my leaders now, right? So this is how it works. Give you an example, give you a story. I'm at the gym the other day. Guy in the gym I respect tremendously. He's one of those guys that I was seeing for 2-3 years, and he has the by far the best catchphrases I've ever heard. I remember one time seeing him, and like, what's going on with you, man? He was just like, oh man, I'm still in the gym, man. I'm trying to lift every weight in the gym or die trying. I was like, okay. So he inspires me when it comes to this. So I see him in the gym, and I always take the time, no matter how much time I got, to just listen to this man talk. So I'm listening to him. He's talking about something, not sure what he was talking about. Then it got a little political, and then we both acknowledged that we were both conservatives. Because sometimes you don't want to, but like, I'm conservative too. I mean, at the end of the day, that's just what it is. So as he started talking, I'm listening. So then I say to him, I said, you know what? My plan is, because of what's going on in the world, I've already looked at different areas, Thailand, Belize, a couple of other places, to have a second place, get those passports right, put that 100 million in the bank, and just be able to go and get away from some of this stuff, this tyranny and all this other stuff that's going on in the world. And then we started talking about things that we really believed in. And when I told him, but first we were talking about a lot of things that we were disgusted with. And then I offered my solution to what I was going to do. And once I started talking about 100 million, starting a crypto company, doing these things, now he wants to know what I'm doing. But if I would have came to him and said, hey, what's going on, man? What you up to? Oh, man, nothing, man. I just got this crypto company. I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. He would have went, all right, that's what's up. I'll talk to you later. Conversation would have been over. But inadvertently, but at some point I realized what was happening, so I tested it. I started talking about the things that he wanted to talk about. And we found out that both of us believed the same thing. You see what I'm saying? We found out we both believed the same thing. And then I offered my idea of a solution for it. And he was interested in how I was going to put that together. There you have it. Now, he asking questions about ITC Global. He's asking questions about crypto. He's asking about this. He's asking about that. And I know my truth. I'm able to articulate myself. I'm able to articulate it to a degree that's sufficient for him to go, okay, this is somebody I can listen to. This is somebody I can follow. And after that, he's like, yo, I'm gonna call you. He walked out and said, I'm gonna call you. This is Albert right now. Let me see. Albert, I'm finishing up a training. I'm on the Zoom right now. Just finishing up. If you want to jump on and say hi. The link is in our USA chat. All right. Normally don't do that, but CEO on the call. So, but anyway, and he's busy. He wanted to talk about something else. So he may or may not jump on. But so that is my idea of how you approach people. That's how you find people at the next level. That's what you have to do. But you have to be solid in your core belief. You have to be speaking your truth all the time. Right? So now here's the thing. The first thing is to figure out why you do what you do. We're always talking about what, the dream, but the why. When it comes to contacting people, when it comes to leading people, you have to know your why. Your why have to be so big. You have to know your why. Your why is important. How does it matter? But the next thing is what? Why am I doing this? I'm doing this for freedom. I'm doing this so I can have the choices that I want, the resources to be able to bless my children. So my children won't grow up the way I grew up, whatever. These are my whys. This is because we have to disrupt some things in our life. We have to disrupt some things in our community. We have to do some things differently than they've been done before, or we'll stay in the same way. The same thing happened. So your why is the thing that's going to get you up early, keep you up late, have your mind thinking about things. Be willing to go out and talk to people in ways that you wouldn't be able to talk to them in other ways because you don't have a solid why. Your what is ITC Global. Your what is cryptocurrency. Why you want to do it? What are you doing it with? What I'm doing is cryptocurrency. And then your how is what your game plan is and what you plan on doing with this cryptocurrency. Your why is most important. So when we talk to people, we lead with our why, then we go to our what, and then how we plan on doing it. Or let's change that. Let's go from why to how. So why I'm going to do it, how I'm going to do it, and what I'm going to use to do it. Either way, but I kind of like the way that one sounds. Why I'm going to do it, how I'm going to do it. How I'm going to do it, I'm going to create something big in the cryptocurrency space. What am I going to do? I'm going to use ITC Global to do that. So the last thing should be the ITC Global. Because guess what? Bringing somebody into ITC Global outside of your warm market is like dating. We all heard of Tinder, right? To say your goal is to get married. You get on Tinder, swipe left, swipe right, and then you put in, will you marry me? Swipe right, will you marry me? Swipe right, will you marry me? Swipe. Everybody you swipe, you ask, will you marry me? What are the odds that you're gonna get married? It's possible, but the odds are not in your favor. That's no different than everybody you talk to, you're asking them to get into ITC Global. You're skipping the part that makes the most sense, the relationship part. You swipe left, you swipe right. How you doing? You talk to them. You go on a date, go on another date, comes over to the house, meets your parents, and then you get married. You don't just go straight to it. So when you're talking to somebody, you have to make them comfortable because they're not going to enroll into ITC Global. They're going to enroll with you. They don't trust ITC Global. They're going to trust you. And far too many times we're trying to put the credibility on the company when the credibility should be on us. Far too many times we try to put the credibility on upline when the credibility should be on us because they don't know me. They don't know Albert. Oh, I got the Albert, the CEO, and he's gonna come on. And Albert comes on, hey, and just said, it doesn't mean anything to this guy. They're like, by the way, who's that guy again? So the credibility is you. They'll trust you because of what you believe and what you were able to articulate. And they'll be willing to follow you into ITC Global or anything else you decide because they believe in you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done. I appreciate your time. You can unmute yourself if you have any questions, comments. I love to hear from people like Thomas, Audric, and even Rita if you have anything to say. Not to say anybody else couldn't, but I'm putting them on the spot because I know that they like to talk. Go ahead, Thomas.
You make me choke, TW. Listen, I'm dressed a little scarce right now, so I'm going to stay with this face online. You did a terrific job this evening. I appreciate the pointers. I appreciate your passion and your competence as it relates to addressing the various groups that we're going to be approaching. I think that if we take note to what you said and we put it to practice immediately, that we'll see the success that it brings. there's nothing like having a plan and then putting that plan into action and seeing the results of following a good leader. And I trust that I will do just that. And all of those who I share what you shared tonight, as you well know, anything you said will be said again, just as if TW was saying it, but only it will have the Bordeaux print on it when I say it. I will give you credit. However, I will say it just like it came from my own script, because it's just that good and it's just that true. So I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely. Audrey, you got anything to say?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, I just want to say that I definitely got a lot of nuggets out of what you were saying. You know, we've been through many, many trainings and I've heard you over and over again, but every time we get together and every time you spew out the knowledge that you have, I'm always amazed, and I'm definitely taking notes and going to put it to action. So I hope everyone do the same. Excited about what's going on, and let's keep it going.
All right, Rita.
Thank you.
Before I let you say anything, I want to make sure that I'm gonna let you go last. Before I let you say anything, I want to make sure that anybody else, like Nathan or D or Andrea, want to say anything, or Sylvester, any of those guys want to say anything, they can go ahead and say it now. If not, we're gonna let Rita say it. We're gonna close out.
This is Andrea, and I'm just still learning, so I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just learning.
All right. Anybody else?
This is Nate. I'm just being a sponge, brother, soaking it all in, man. Appreciate what you're doing, man. Thank you.
All right. All right. All right, Rita. So on you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the presentation, and thank you for the training. I've also got some golden nuggets from this. My approach has been different, but from tonight it's going to be in a positive, more positive direction. Versus just going shooting at everybody. I have to strategize. So I got so many things from tonight's training. I'm grateful and I'm thankful. Thank you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you for setting up the call. We're gonna do this every Thursday at 7. And
yes,
whether we have prospects or not, I'm bringing it. I'm gonna give you whatever I focus on during the week and try to compartmentalize that and articulate it the best that I possibly can for the leaders of this organization to prosper and see success. And that's what we're here for. So without any further ado, I don't really do benedictions, but I wish peace and prosperity on everybody on this call. And I love you guys, and just keep leading from the front. And just remember, find that passion within and learn to articulate that. Learn to harness that. Don't just sleep on this thing. You want to take the time to study, to be deliberate about how you move with this. You know, you want to be strategic. You want to be surgical. You want to understand that dealing with people is the one thing that we can't stop learning about. People are so different, and as we evolve in this world and things are changing, we have all kinds of different things that are coming up and changing. We have to learn how to deal with people for where they are. But the easiest way to do that is, instead of trying to come down to where they are and please them, this is what we're doing in society. Oh, Albert just came in. Give me a second. Just the way we are in society, we try to come down to them. But I say, I dare you, don't come down to them. Stand on a rooftop and declare your truth. Declare what it is that you want out of life. And those that are confused, those that are blinded, those that don't have any ambition will look up and say, you know what? That makes sense. I want to be a part of that. And so as I was going to close out, I'm going to allow Mr. Muir, our CEO, to come in and close us out. Anything you want to say, any updates, anything you want to share with us, go right ahead, sir.
Okay, good evening, USA.
Good evening.
Rita, that's a big smile.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
Yes, you too. Yes, you too. Yep. This one caught me by surprise. However, if you guys don't know, I've been dealing with my tooth here for about 5 days now. I go back to the dentist one more time today. If you ever want to go through like a really nice experience,